Okay, so my sister gets married and my parents pay for the entire wedding, and then when I get married, they pay for the whole thing. So I'm like, oh, cool, this is awesome. But then they send me an invoice for a lot of money. And apparently they paid for it up front, but it was just a loan. My sister didn't get a loan, so now it's left me wondering, why would my parents do this when they have money? I don't know. I know I'm not entitled for them to pay the wedding, but it's so weird that they did it for my sister and me, and then all of a sudden I get an invoice in the mail? There's no way. I have to be dreaming. Nope, I have the email in front of me and I've read it nearly 5 times. I'm pretty sure that my parents have just told me I owe them $150,000. This is definitely not a late gift from them. They're actually asking me to pay them that amount in 7 days. How the hell did I end up in this mess? You must be asking yourself. Well, even I don't know what the hell they are doing this for. I think it's a big mistake, right? Surely they're sending this to someone else, yet I can actually make out the item list. They're charging me for half the wedding cost, even though they were supposed to cover everything. This was not the agreement, and it's absolutely unfair. Well, I've sent my mom a text message because I'm too stunned to call right now. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but due to history, I think that they're serious. I know I must sound ridiculous right now, and you're wondering why you should feel sorry for me. Let me give you all the details, and then you can decide for yourself if I'm being ungrateful or unreasonable for thinking I should not have to pay for my wedding. First of all, my parents offered as soon as I turned 26 and got engaged to my fiancé Jason. About 2 years ago, my sister Stacy also got married. Well, guys, they spent about $400,000 for her wedding. My parents were well off, but they don't spend a lot of money. I was shocked when they spent so much for her wedding. They told me that she would only get married once in her life, and they wanted to make her day memorable. They then told me that they would pay also for mine. When I got engaged, I wanted nothing big. I told them that I would rather they give me money for the down payment of a house instead of paying for a large wedding. My mom told me that I was being ridiculous. This was going to be the most money they had ever spent on me, and I had to make the most of it. They also said that a simple wedding would not do it. It would not be true to her Greek heritage. I bet that helps put things into perspective, right? Even people who don't spend a lot of money, like my parents, really pull out all the stops for weddings. They also told me that my husband had to get a house for me. It would not do for them to buy a house for us. Honestly, I feel like the wedding was for other people and not us. Somewhere along the line, the vision that I had for the wedding was completely abandoned. It became bigger than what I wanted, and I had fun at my wedding, but I wish it was smaller. There were so many unnecessary things included that I didn't want. That money could have been spent on something else, but there was no reasoning with them. Since, it was their money, it was their wish to spend it as they wished. So why are they expecting me to pay for half of the $300,000 wedding? How can they give a gift and then take it back? How am I going to have a good marriage if I have to tell my husband this bad news? Will he not resent his in-laws for pulling such a nasty trick? It does not make sense for me to have to pay them back when my sister had a way more costly wedding. Are you kidding? And did not have to pay them back $1. Wait, it turns out that I don't know if she paid them back. Maybe she had to pay back part of the money, I don't know. Maybe they paid for everything so they looked good in front of their peers. Trust my calculated parents to do something like this. Now, I wish I had put my foot down and had the simple wedding that I truly, really wanted. Oh my gosh, my mom just called me 5 minutes ago as I was busy writing this. My feelings on the matter have intensified because she clarified absolutely everything. It looks like my parents have truly tried to mess me over. My mom had the nerve to tell me that it was I who betrayed them. How could I have let them pay for everything, simply knowing that my husband was well off? I sighed when she told me that, and, they had uncovered a couple of days before the wedding. It turns out the mutual acquaintance of theirs recognized his family name and told them that the family is millionaires. So now my parents feel duped because they had to pay for my wedding. They want me to return half the cost, not the full amount, since they loved me so much and made a promise. They actually promised to pay for the full wedding, not half. In addition, this is nothing compared to the $400K that they paid for my sister. My mom told me to stop being unreasonable. Their wealth was nothing compared to mine now, and surely it was chump change. She was also upset with me for keeping the information to myself. The reason I kept it to myself is that it doesn't matter. Yes, my husband has a lot of money, but I have my own. I don't care for his millions, I love him for the person that he is. I actually proposed signing a prenup even though he insisted that this was mine. The only thing I agreed to do was put contingencies in place for when he had kids in case one of us passed. Other than that, his money is his and so is mine. I don't want money to be the central focus of the marriage. Unfortunately, it's already going to be because I don't have $150K on me. I spent the last of my savings on a down payment on our home. I'll have to either get a loan or ask my husband to help me out. How can I when I did not want to make this marriage about money? If it was something small, I know that he would not have had an issue helping me. But this is a substantial amount of money, and I'm so worried right now that we're supposed to be enjoying our honeymoon, but now we can't. I hate that I decided to look at my emails today. I'm supposed to be enjoying my honeymoon and not stressing about the outside world. In addition, I have no idea what made me message my mother. Our call did not end on good terms, and she has given me 7 days to come up with the money. She says that if I don't get my husband to pay the money on my own, then she's going to approach him. I can't have her doing that. It's going to be so embarrassing. He'll wonder what kind of crazy family he's married into. And to make matters worse, my sister just responded. She asked if I had gotten my invoice yet, and this was what I got for making our parents pay for the wedding. She told me not to make my problems hers because she has bigger fish to fry. I didn't like the tone of her voice, especially since I've been so kind to her lately. I know exactly what those big problems she's dealing with are. I've listened to her mope about them and tried to help out when I had the wedding stress. Would it not be fair for her to also help alleviate my stress? I've decided not to overthink her message, though it was very selfish. I will talk to her when I'm finally back in town, and I'll tell her that she's out of line. With that sorted out, I'm left wondering what to do. They paid for the wedding as a gift. Are they really allowed to go back on their word? I don't think that it's fair in the manner. On the other hand, I don't want to cause drama in the family by refusing to pay the money. Update number 1. 1 week later. The deadline for me to pay my parents has come and gone. I've not given them a single penny. I have, however, spoken to my husband and told him everything. It was an interesting conversation, which I'll tell you about right after I tell you how the drama escalated with my parents. So, Jason and I are supposed to be back in town in a couple of days. We're going to see my parents then, but it might be hard because we live an hour from them. This means that I actually have to go and see them, which will be very difficult after the words that we just exchanged. Today, my dad blew up my phone with many text messages, asking me when I was going to do the payment. I feel like I made myself pretty clear last time that I had no intention of paying them back. My dad told me that he did not want to, but he would actually take legal action against me if I did not pay them back. I laughed and told him that he could not do it as it was a gift, and I had proof of that. I have texts dating back to the wedding planning days when they were saying that they would pay for everything, and were encouraging me to pick expensive items. I dared him to even try me, because what they were doing was not fair. Stacy was never forced to pay them back, even though they spent more on her wedding. They told me that it was their money and they decided what to do with it. It was rude of me to question them. Well, Dad then went on a rant about how I was being disrespectful because now I could hide behind my husband. I've always been agreeable when it comes to my parents, but that is out of respect. I do not agree with what they did, and their actions are making me lose even more respect for them. I've not even started being disrespectful, and this attitude is not because of the fact that I'm married. Speaking of my marriage, I decided to tell my husband everything before my parents got to it, and twisted things to fit their narrative. I was blunt and honest, and he reacted pretty well. He said that he was not mad at me in any way, but then he shocked me when he wanted to write a check to them. I told him that they were not getting a single cent. If he got them used to demanding money like this, it would never end. It was not going to let him be a wallet, especially not people who did not need it. Well, he just reassured me it's completely fine. They were family. He said that they had already felt bad because he did not pay for the wedding, and I reminded him that my parents offered and were very insistent on wanting to pay. There was no way that he was winning that war. He said that regardless, he had to man up. He would also not allow my name to be dragged through the mud because of this, and he also hated seeing me stressed during our honeymoon. I don't know, I feel bad now because he got very quiet after I snapped at him. I'm struggling to come up with the words to fix this. I really don't want our last days here to be full of sadness and bad things between us. I don't. Let me log off and try to fix things. I hate how I made a mess of everything. Update number 2, 3 days later. Oh, you know what? I think I'm tired of being told what to do by my parents. They've done it all my life, and they used to use money to hold things over me. I essentially had to work for their money. Nothing was ever free. The only time I got reprieve was when I started earning my own money. This led me to having a different relationship with money, and I decided that it would never come between me and any relationship that I had. I would never accept money from anyone, especially not a romantic partner. I did not want to lose control. I made a very big mistake by accepting the $300,000. I have no idea why I even thought it was a good idea. It appears that my actions have led to this mess. My parents now think that they have power over me, and I can't have that, can I? I've decided to take back my power. First of all, since coming back to town, I have not gone to their house even though they summoned me. In addition, I have blacklisted them from entering my estate. I've spent the past couple of days since coming back recuperating. Now that that's done, I've decided to say my piece. In a couple of hours, my parents are going to receive a letter from me. In the letter, I've told them that their behavior is pure hypocrisy. I've also told them that they have a bigger problem to worry about than me and the money. My sister's marriage is breaking down and she's getting a divorce. She's been unhappy for a long time because her husband has not been treating her well. He's been trying to force her to accept the divorce and sign the papers. Guys, if she doesn't sign it, he's threatened to go to court. He's determined to get that divorce by hook or by crook. This news will be very devastating for them for 2 reasons. Firstly, they do not believe in divorce and would be ruined since they care about their reputation so much. Secondly, they will not be getting grandkids. They've been telling us to have kids lately, but I don't know. Now, they will get none from my sister. No, I then told them that they should not expect any kids from me as well. When I do have kids, they will not be allowed in their lives, and in addition to that, I attached a cease and desist, should they continue bothering me for that money. I'm going to go after them legally. They'll only end up losing more money if they go after me. I hardly think that my wedding money is the biggest problem right now. What I have just told them about my sister is going to drive them crazy. I'm waiting for hell that they'll raise in a couple of hours. It's going to be so much fun to watch. I don't feel sorry for my sister at all. She's not supported me during all this, and she feels that her problems are much bigger, even though I have made so many sacrifices for her. I hardly think it's fair for me to always be there to listen to her problem, yet she does not do the same for me. She got a luxury wedding that she did not pay for. When I'm being treated unfairly, she has not said a single word in my defense. So why must I keep her secret? I think it's time for the both of us to fend for ourselves. It saddens me that it had to come to this, but I had no choice. I had to take back my power by disarming them. I would never have used in this game if she was a good sister. Now she's going to be in the firing line because they really do not believe in divorce. My whole family has enforced that, and that's why I made sure that I was certain before marrying my husband. Getting a divorce would be so difficult if my parents had anything to do with it. I promise that I'll tell you how everything unfolds. I don't think that you're ready for the pandemonium that's about to ensue. Even my husband, who does not normally enjoy drama, well, is waiting with bated breath. He has finally come to his senses and is supporting me throughout the ordeal. He said that it was better to be with me than against me. What a wise man. That's why I love him so much. I mean, he'll always pick the right side. Update 3, 2 days later. Well, I'm not wrong. I caused hell in my family. The past 2 days have felt like a week. You know, I just need to catch my breath, honestly. Telling you about it's going to help me process everything that's happened, right? So, after I sent the letter, my parents went to my sister's house and caused drama. They brought several aunts and uncles with them and demanded that there be an emergency intervention. My sister said they tried to bully her husband into carrying on with the marriage, but he was adamant. It's hard to imagine her husband holding his own against my family. He always seemed like such a quiet person, and he told them that he could not deal with her wild behavior anymore. Apparently, she was still acting like a single lady, and even cheating on him. In addition, she did not want to have kids and was secretly taking birth control. She was taking advantage of his kindness and treated him horrible. This part I've heard my sister acting like she was innocent when she spoke rather than shouting at me. As you can imagine, she was not happy with me for exposing her secret. She's acting like she was going to be able to keep it from our parents for a long time. She sure enjoyed acting like the perfect daughter when they were harassing me for money. Now they have stopped harassing me for money and are on to her. My mom even called me to tell me that what happened, forgetting that we were not on speaking terms. If there is one thing my mom loves, it's gossip. Besides, she wanted to ask me for more details, which I provided her. Right now, you might be looking at me sideways for doing this to my sister, but I did her a favor. If she wants to live her life in that manner, she'll be free to do so. There have been countless family meetings discussing how to fix her marriage, and more interesting facts have come out since then, such as the fact that her husband is actually broke. Yeah, apparently. He's not able to give her the life that she feels she deserves, and that's why she's never at home. I couldn't believe it that after the expensive wedding, they could not even stay together for 2 years. They're even behind on their mortgage, and my sister is not helping it by spending all of her money partying. The parents are in a crisis mode trying to fix this, but those two have no love left. I think they both want to start over, but my parents will not let them. I wonder how it's going to turn out for them. I'll remain tuned. I have to go now. We're having a few friends over for dinner. Final update 3 months later. Hey guys, I've not forgotten you all. I just got distracted by life. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I have become braver because of your support. I was able to stand up to my parents and put them in their place because of you. Can you believe what they had the nerve to say to my sister when she left? After. They came to me and said that my sister was a disappointment, but I was seriously their last hope. Yeah, that's what she said. They were willing to forgive my debt if I started having children. It was clear my sister was not settling down anytime soon, and they were lonely. I told them that I would consider doing it if they apologized. It might seem like I was letting them off the hook easy, but do not underestimate them. You don't know my parents. I've never heard them apologizing when they were wrong before. I mean, when are they wrong? They bribe a person with gifts, and I don't care if they forgive the debt because I owe them nothing. What I wanted was a genuine apology from them, but I did not get that. So, I mean, come on. I also went ahead and told them to apologize. Yeah, well, for harassing my husband when I wasn't talking to them. After my sister left, I ignored them, so they resorted to harassing my husband, who was very upset. They really wanted to forget everything and be a real family, but it was a little too late. Their greed for my husband's money is what led them here. They were also very, very disappointed towards me. And for that, they would not get a part of their grandchild's life. My mom pleaded with me to please reconsider, citing that it was a misunderstanding, and she told me that she cannot even show her face in the community because of what my sister did. Everyone was talking about the divorce and laughing at them. This was the first divorce on our side of the family, and they were so embarrassed. I also thought their ways of views were nonsense. I told her exactly that. I told her that she did not need to beg me. I could not save her from the embarrassment, only she could do it for herself. She put herself in that prison by caring too much about what people think. It's the 21st century, people. Get divorced when they're not compatible. They should get over it. While they tried to get me to change my mind, they never showed that they were genuinely sorry. And for that, I told them that I was cutting them off. Not only that, but I was also going to tell my kids that they were deceased. Nothing in the world was going to make me accept them in my life. With that, I closed a chapter of my life, and I do feel so empowered because I stood up for myself and demanded what I deserved. Well, speaking of what one deserves, someone just sent me a link to a GoFundMe. Apparently, my sister is stuck in some country after her boyfriend stole all her money and abandoned her. I'm sure that she's regretting leaving her husband. He was a good, hardworking man, but she demanded so much from him. The poor man is now in financial ruin because of, well, he married my sister. I'm happy to see that karma will always find the correct address. It did not even take 3 months for her life to come crumbling down. One day she was posting bikini pictures, sipping cocktails, and the next she was left with nothing. Now she's stuck here. Nothing to her name. Soon she's going to be back in the small town. Maybe she'll reconcile with parents. They deserve each other. Whatever happens, I don't care.